Great red dragon, Revelation 12, seven heads. This discussion considers the details of the metaphors applied to the red dragon, its seven crowned heads, and how the metaphors are similar but do change when it comes to the beasts of Revelation 17 and Revelation 13. Requires full attention. Revelation chapter 12. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. Who were the 7 heads? Great red dragons. 7 heads were Babylon equals lion, Medo Persia equals bear, Greco-Macedonian equals 4-headed leopard, dreadful beast equals Rome equals 1 equals total of 7 heads equals Daniel 7, 4-7. While speaking to a very confident padre in Laodicea, a question was asked in a group discussion. Who are the 5 fallen kings of Revelation 17? Immediately, the padre from Laodicea said the 5 fallen kings of Revelation 17 were Assyria, Egypt, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece. And as you can see, they are similar to the 7 heads of the great red dragon, directly adapted from Revelation 12. Right? What's clear? Laodicea had merged the 7 crowned heads of Revelation 12's great red dragon and made an immediate overlay with the scenario of the 7 kings the woman of Revelation 17:3 wrote over. But is this a viable conclusion? Fact is, the scarlet beast of Revelation 17 did not have crowned heads, only 7 heads with 10 horns. And those 10 horns were not crowned either. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. But here is where attention to detail becomes very important, because the historical facts about the Scarlet Woman, that woman of ill repute, she never rode or sat over or influenced in any way the previous 6 ancient empires prior to pagan Rome. The reason is she never existed in those annals of history. Now ask yourself, can Revelation 12's table of 7 crowned heads be used for Revelation 17's 5 fallen kings? No way. Who then are the 5 fallen kings? Revelation 17, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth. and there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. For those interested in identifying the 5 fallen kings of Revelation 17, contextually, they are in reference to the matter of the scarlet woman sitting over 7 kings of the Holy Roman Empire. And they are 1, Justinian; 2, Charlemagne; 3, Otto the Great; 4, Charles V; 5, Napoleon; 6, then came the era of Victor Emmanuel, titular head of the Mussolini-Hitler axis, equals puny, equals 1 is. 7th, finally the Grand Monarch, equals 7th, who is not yet come. And Revelation 13:1, one of its heads, it's the 7th, equals Rome. And since, as you now recognize, the woman of ill repute never rode over the previous ancient empires in the form of the great red dragon of Revelation 12, she, the woman of ill repute, in fact rides over 7 emperors, equals kings. And the one receiving the fatal wound is the 7th emperor, equals, and that equals last portion, equals short space of Revelation 17:10. And then comes the diverse king, who is the 8th king. See Revelation 17:11. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen. One is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. The great red dragon, 12, had the same number of 7 heads, and they were crowned. This has been addressed in the past. It deals with the Pax Romana. There are not 10 crowned heads in Revelation 17, as there are in Revelation 13. Rome, pagan, was the 7th crowned head of the dragon. Also, the 4th beast equals the was, is not, yet is, equals dreadful beast, equals the 3 stages of dreadful, who being diverse from all the others, and exceeding dreadful, and at the time of the yet is, equals future, includes the deadly or fatal wound to one of the heads. The 7th king of Revelation 17 equals one of the 10 successive horns. Because, as you will recall, 3 of the 10 horns of the scarlet beast were uprooted in history. See Gothic Wars, Justinian, 535 to 554. And leaving 7 successive emperors equals Daniel 7:8. So when speaking about the deadly wound of Revelation 13, it's to be followed by a healing, equals the 8th king's transition to power. The healing of the deadly wound equals future, and introduces unity consciousness and Luciferian doctrine of the 8th king. This diverse king, who is the 8th, who is of the 7, subdues, and not uprooting 3 kings. See Daniel 7:24 and cross-reference with verse 8. Subdues and uprooting changes the historical context. Further, nowhere does it state that the 8th king is Lucifer. He is Luciferian, but not Lucifer. Lucifer is the dragon. For as you know, they worship the dragon and the beast. Padres and Laodicea say 7 kings of Revelation 17 equals 7 heads of Revelation 12. Laodicea's explanation is wrong because she, the Scarlet Woman, sits over 7 kings, doesn't deal with Assyrian or Egypt, those previous empires, starting with Babylon, which culminated in the dragon's Pax Romana. Pax Romana equaled the 7th head at that time. The woman is strictly the Papa pointy hat. The historical context: 2 sets of 7 kings. Scripture of Revelation 12 and Revelation 17 is simply speaking of 2 sets of 7 kings. The one dealing with the 7 ancient empires themselves, and the one dealing with the 7 scarlet kings, which the woman rides over. The previous world-ruling empires are not scarlet, for the great red dragon is a fiery red hue, equals Megas Pyros Dracon. But it's not the same system. The Scarlet Woman and the Beast of Revelation 17 is described as woman, Gyne, sitting on scarlet beast, Revelation 17:3. Woman was clothed in purple and scarlet, Revelation 17:4. Yes, the woman is vastly different to the great red dragon of Revelation 12. Not the same. The woman, the Papa Pointy Hat, here's the mind that hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and they are 7 kings. The 5 are fallen, the one is, the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a little while. And the beast that was and is not is himself also an 8th, and is of the 7, and he goeth into perdition. Conclusion 1. The 8th king is diverse and not related to the other 7, but is of the 7. This is a latter-day application which pertains to the woman sitting over the first 7, and then is her repudiation by the 8th. It has nothing to do with the previous 7 empires that the dragon controlled up to Pax Romana, whom identified as 7 crowns over the heads, equals era of pagan Rome. The 10 horns of the 4th beast began from the time frame of the end of the transition age, with Witiges, Totila, and Tia brought down and uprooted by Justinian, equals Daniel 7:8. Then we go into Revelation 17:10, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. The woman, she sits over 7 kings, 5 have fallen, then one is, and other comes up, whose coming is brief, and then the beast is an 8th king, who is of the 7, and that was Revelation 17:10. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. Conclusion 2. By the time the red dragon was transformed, it was by way of the Arian heresy in the West. The red dragon brought in another religious system, which downgraded eternal righteousness in the West. Yet, to historical eyes, Rome officially fell in the West. The Alpha of Deadly Heresies. The red dragon of Revelation 12 brought in the Alpha of Deadly Heresies to further attack Christ, so the transgression of desolation was also the Arian faith, another Alpha of Deadly Heresies besides the other heresies of the first social order of the Church, which had cemented her authority in the West. That is why the Roman Empire is not seen in Daniel as falling in 476 AD, but transitions into the 10 horns, Daniel 7:8, with the first three being the Arian heresy, which was uprooted in the persons of Witiges, Totila, and Tia, but not in doctrinal theory, since Neoplatonism continued to this day. By way of God, the eternal Son, and Trinity doctrines equals central doctrines of the Roman Catholic Church, and worse, the Roman Catholic Church central doctrines are the official beliefs of Laodicea in Fundamentals 2 and 4, equals Alpha and Omega of deadly heresies. Later, the beast being is not, under the Arians again, transitions to is not, second social order, in the restoration of Orthodox Trinitarianism, which later transitions back to the second social order of the Church in 554 AD. But from a historical perspective, Rome, pagan, did fall in the West in 476 AD. The 10/10 kings. 1010 equals 10 successive kingdoms of Daniel 7. And then there is the final contemporaneous kingdom of 10 kings, Revelation 17, who existing same time as depicted in verses 12 to 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. He shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are the called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. These verses prove that the woman is of the Holy Roman Empire historic heritage, and not of the previous ancient 7 empires of Revelation 12, since the little horn arises in the midst of the 10 successive revivals, and is not contemporaneous with the 4th beast or the previous ones. The little horn issues forth from 554 AD after uprooting the Ostrogoths. See Gothic Wars, Justinian, 535 to 554. The beast that was fell in 476 AD. Period. That is historical fact in reference to Odoacer bringing it down. Therefore, the context was not in Revelation 13, since it's the 1010 symbolism which identifies the second set of 7 kings with the added reference to one of its heads receiving a fatal wound, and that would be the 7th king. Laodicea is wrong, saying that it was the papacy fatal wound in 1798, and that is ridiculous. Further, if the dragon had a crown on its 7th head, it was surely identifying the dreadful beast and Satan as the power behind it, as in the New World Order of the Pax Romana. The red dragon was behind Rome, pagan, up until the West fell in 476 AD, since its status has never changed as the beast that was. Yes, but Laodicea has stated on record that the dragon represents pagan Rome. It is found in Roy Allen Anderson's book on Revelation. In reality, we are talking about the power behind Rome. It did fall in 476 AD, then a transition age, and then back to the second social order, the first being the emperors leading up to Constantine. The second social order marks the time frame of Justinian. Theoretically speaking, the dragon of Revelation 12 would be crowned with 7 heads and 10 horns, with 10 crowns on its heads. Yet we don't see this at the very end, but we do see Revelation 13, which is 7 heads and 10 horns and 10 crowns on the horns, but not on the heads, like was of the dragon in Revelation 12. That is a very important piece of detail to resolve. So the application concludes with the rock equals Christ that hits the image of Daniel 2 at the 10 toes of iron mixed with clay. It appears that the devil is not going to be given the privilege of having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 10 crowns on the heads of the dragon. Why? Because of Calvary and everlasting righteousness. They, the 10 contemporaneous horns of Revelation 17's 10 kings, are given royal authority 1 hour with the beast, according to the plan of he who made, to get rid of the woman, an abomination whom he hates. Revelation 19 explains the rest of the story. Eternal righteousness of he who made, who is Alpha and Omega of Revelation 13:8, is based on the fact that his name is the Word, and the armies of heaven followed him. Also, the 144,000 prohibits Satan's absolute authority over the whole planet, since the demonstration, by way of the 144,000, has been provided as to why Satan failed. For there is no guile in the 144,000, and they follow the Lamb wherever he goes. A 10th crown on the dragon would imply completeness, when in reality there is none. The mystery of iniquity is brought down as depicted in the latter part of Isaiah 2 and also Revelation 19. For those interested to obtain a broader overview of the details, the 3 phases of the beast of Revelation 12, 17, 13 is given by God to assist the readers who are way behind to get a better idea of their context. Since the Babylonian, Medo-Persian, and Greco-Macedonian with 4 heads all had crowns on their heads, the difference was that the 7th crowned head identifies it as the time frame of pagan Rome, and specifically the Pax Romana. The 4th terrible beast equals pagan Rome. Also, being the 7th head, because the 4th beast was defined as the 4th, yet is actually the 7th crowned head of the great red dragon, and therefore the entirety of the great red dragon of Revelation 12 can be said to be the beast that was. Revelation 17:11 was, is not, yet is. Time frames. Great red dragon, 7th crowned head equals was. Revelation 17 is not, up until Revelation 17:12-16 equals the 10:10 scenario. Then Revelation 17:11 beast returns, equals diverse horn that Daniel sees after the original 10. Revelation 11, beast returns, rises from bottomless pit, and kills the 2 witnesses. Revelation 13, fatal wound is healed. Beast that was returns for 42 months. That equals, yet is, equals, for it is like unto a leopard. Feet were as the feet of a bear, his mouth as the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave power. The next phase, the Revelation 17 version, equals the is not time frame. The next phase, Revelation 13, equals yet is, or is to come. Holds the 7 head characteristics of the great red dragon of Revelation 12. The 7 head characteristics of Revelation 12, great red dragon, merged into Revelation 13 phase. But Laodicea say it's Papa Pointy Hat in Revelation 13. Such is ridiculous because the scarlet, in fact, equals the is not beast who is phased out. Then cometh the beast of Revelation 13, that yet is, has merged formations of the red dragon equals the lion, bear, leopard. Conclusion? The 3 beast phases are integrations of the dragon. Revelation 12 equals was, is not, equals Revelation 17, yet is, equals Revelation 13. After the transition of 476 AD, then the 10 successive horns end at the time of the deadly wound of the seventh king. Then the 10 contemporaries commence business, the joining for that 1 hour with the beast. At this section of Revelation 17, that's the transition unto the beast that is to come, equals yet is. Then, upon the inauguration of the 10 contemporary kings of Revelation 17, become crowned unto the beast of Revelation 13, which is just after the deadly wound. Then it's the events of Isaiah 2, the third temple, and then events go straight into the 1260 days, includes the oppressive law mentioned by Isaiah, which is over the first angel's warning. Then, plus 30 days of the second beast of Revelation 13, then ends the 1290 days of Daniel 12, to be followed by the plus 45 days equals 1335.